So what we're trying to do is stretch out muscles of the quadricep, the abdominals, the groin. So basically, we just elevate his foot a little bit in the back so it creates some tension down in the quad. He raises his hands up high so he gets tension coming from this direction. And he even wants to, if he can flex that glute, opens up his hip, and now we get the stretch through the hip flexors here. So this next stretch we're going to do kind of works its way to the other side of the body and works, it's called piriformis stretch. All he does is kind of sit back, cross his legs, and he's going to reach through to either the back of his knee or the front of his knee if he has more flexibility. And I usually try and keep this foot up a little higher because it helps with putting some tension here. And really what I'm stretching right here is this muscle right here. Okay. So that can get pretty tight internally. That's a good stretch to kind of get it loosened up. One, that's about 15 seconds, go to the other side. You're gonna definitely find one side is tighter than the other. It's gonna happen no matter what. Either the front's tighter than the back, the left's tighter than the right, the top's tighter than the bottom. So you have to go after the muscles that are tight in your particular chain of movement. Probably the more often you do it, the better.
Yeah.
Right? But what I would get away from, don't do it once a week because you're holding it for a minute. Try and make it a regular part. This is something that you probably want to incorporate into your warm-up.
If you're getting good value out of this video, please push the like button and subscribe.
All right, so the first one we're going to do is we're going to focus on that hip flexor. Remember I said those get really tight and they kind of pull you into that unwanted position. So Tom here is going to show us how to kind of line up. He just simply gets a long foam roller, puts it underneath his hip flexor, and positions himself where he can kind of glide back and forth for X amount of repetitions. We'll say 10 repetitions. And he'll just kind of go from an origin to an insertion point and just kind of try and get that hip flexor wherever he feels tension. You know, he'll kind of go right in and target that area with the rolling. So he controls it. If you notice, he's doing it with his back foot, and with his opposite leg, and with his hands. He can control how much pressure he's putting on his hip flexors. He can control how much distance he travels, and then he just gets a nice little preparation roll. All right, so here we are back, now working the opposite side. So we want to target the glute, the big muscle, you know, in the back that really gets tight. It's the biggest muscle in your body. It has a tendency to either get really tight or get underutilized. So either way, it's sensitive when we get into using some foam rolling. So what he does is just kind of crosses one leg, very similar to our piriformis stretch. He's going to go up and down the glute, trying to find spots where he feels that tightness. Right? It's almost like there's some trigger points in there where he kind of feels little bumps, and he'll go into it and really try and, you know, target those areas with the rolling. So you might see him doing a bigger roll, you might see him doing a shorter roll, he might actually stop and target that area. What that'll do is go ahead and do one, Max. It'll kick in all his low back muscles. That's all he needs to do right there. Don't over exaggerate the motion. It'll just do it, it'll pause for about 3 seconds, let it down, relax, bring it back up. And now what we're starting to do is engage all these muscles, go ahead, of the low back and the glutes. So what it allows him to do is do that same Aquaman with some resistance. As you can see, there's a lot more tension in the muscles again developing up. It's pretty good. He's trying to keep his back flat. You should be able to put a glass of water on his back and it won't spill. So all he's doing is pivoting at his waist. Notice his back stays nice and tight. his legs pretty much stay the same length. He's pivoting from his hips here. So he's getting this extension of his hips. So that's what the glutes and the low back go up, tighten, and they force the hips forward. Good. So just like in a sport where momentum is bringing him down quickly, so is this resistance. He resists it with these muscles that are now getting long. Sometimes they're not getting short, sometimes they're getting long in developing action. So that's what's important. It's going to become a part of your program every day, right? So when you're young, you can avoid it with 10 minutes right before you go on the court, maybe 10 minutes at night. Doing these exercises, you can avoid the situation. The more competitive you're going to be, the more time you got to put to this.
So we're talking, this is a lifetime. Basically, this is a lifestyle for an athlete from the time they are 8, 9 years old, even if it is 10 minutes before they get on the court, and progressing all the way until they go to college and beyond.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Well, Mike, thank you very much for your expertise. Thank you for meeting with us. Hopefully, we'll see you soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
If you're interested on any of the items that we use in the filming of this video, I listed links for all of them in the description below. It is very important that you do the exercises together with the stretching exercises. It is as important to stretch as it is to do the exercises. Thank you for watching. For RiTennis Academy, my name is Mario. You can do it.